not a new concept in creative practice. Long before the advent of digital technology, artists and societies across history sought to envelop their audiences in rich, multisensory environments. Whether through vast cave murals, architectural illusions, theatrical dioramas, or mirrored installations, the desire to create emotional, spatial, and transformative experiences has remained constant. This chapter explores how the creative impulse to build immersive worlds has evolved over time, from analog environments rooted in storytelling and ritual, to today's cutting-edge AR, VR, and XR installations. By examining key historical and contemporary examples, we'll see how the foundations of immersion are deeply embedded in the creative disciplines, and how XR is simply the latest evolution of this long-standing tradition. Objectives. In this chapter, we aim to understand the historical context and current applications of immersive tools in creative disciplines. By the end of this section, you will be able to describe the historical development of immersive experiences in art and design, from ancient to modern times. Identify key artists and works that have contributed to the evolution of immersive environments. Explain how traditional immersive practices have influenced contemporary XR applications. Evaluate examples of XR in creative disciplines and their impact on audience engagement and artistic expression. The origins of immersive storytelling in art can be traced back tens of thousands of years to prehistoric cave paintings found across the globe. These early artworks transformed natural spaces into storytelling environments. One of the richest archaeological sites is the Cradle of Humankind in South Africa, where some of the earliest evidence of symbolic thought, engraving, and ritual behavior has been discovered. These findings show that the roots of artistic expression, and the desire to communicate experiences, are deeply embedded in human evolution. Further north, in places like Lascaux and Chauvet in France, cave walls were adorned with large-scale depictions of animals, human figures, and abstract symbols. These images were often placed in echoing, torch-lit chambers that animated the scenes through light and movement, creating early immersive environments that enveloped viewers and invited them into a shared spiritual or narrative world. These caves weren't just decorated spaces, they were multisensory environments, used for ritual, community, and reflection. In many ways, they represent humanity's first virtual worlds, constructed not with technology, but with imagination, light, and space. The impulse to surround ourselves with symbolic environments began here, and it continues today through AR, VR, and XR technologies. In ancient Roman society, the desire to transform physical space into a narrative or symbolic experience led to remarkable artistic innovations. One of the most compelling examples is found in the preserved ruins of Pompeii around 60 BC, where life-size, 360-degree wall murals adorned the interiors of private homes, villas, and public spaces. These murals, particularly those in the so-called Villa of the Mysteries, are more than just decoration, they are immersive environments designed to transport the viewer into another time, place, or state of mind. Using advanced techniques like perspective, foreshortening, and architectural trompe-l'oeil, Roman artists created convincing illusions of vast gardens, open courtyards, or mythological scenes that appeared to continue beyond the actual walls. The intention was not only to display wealth or sophistication but to immerse guests in alternative realities, making them participants in the visual narrative. Imagine dining in a room where every wall opens onto a painted landscape, or reclining on a couch surrounded by a ceremonial procession of life-size figures engaged in ancient rituals. These 360-degree experiences functioned much like the virtual environments of today's VR installations. They altered perception, encouraged emotional engagement, and blended art with architecture. While entirely analog, these muraled rooms reflected the same goals we pursue in XR today: to surround the user with meaningful imagery, to create a sense of presence, and to expand reality through art. Pompeii's murals reveal that the desire to step beyond the bounds of physical space through visual storytelling is timeless, and that immersive design has always played a central role in human creativity. In 1822, Louis Daguerre, best known for his contributions to early photography, and Charles Marie Bowden introduced a revolutionary form of entertainment, the diorama. Unlike the miniature display models we associate with the term today, their diorama was a large-scale theatrical experience housed in a purpose-built venue in Paris. Audiences would enter a specially designed building and sit in a darkened auditorium. The viewing platform itself rotated slowly to reveal massive, painted scenes, some as large as 22 meters wide, mounted on translucent materials like linen. What made the diorama unique was its use of controlled lighting effects, both natural and artificial, projected from behind and in front of the canvas. This made it possible to simulate the changing of weather, time of day, or mood, clouds passing, candles flickering, even buildings catching fire, all without any motion in the painting itself. Viewers remained seated, passive but fully absorbed, as the scene seemed to come alive through light and shadow. These immersive effects produced a kind of optical illusion that created an early form of environmental storytelling, one that combined art, architecture, and emerging technology. Daguerre and Bouton's diorama was one of the first public art experiences to intentionally manipulate time and perception to immerse an audience, laying conceptual groundwork for how XR designers today craft experiences using light, perspective, and layered environments. The diorama represents a key step in the historical evolution from static visual art to immersive media, showing that long before digital screens, artists were already imagining ways to expand the canvas into space and time. Since the 1960s, Yayoi Kusama has been creating radically immersive installations that blur the line between reality, illusion, and psychological experience. Her most iconic works, known as the Infinity Mirror Rooms, use mirrors, light, color, and repetition to construct environments that appear to stretch endlessly in all directions. In these rooms, viewers step into enclosed spaces where walls, floors, and ceilings are lined with mirrors. Suspended lights, polka-dotted objects, or soft sculptures seem to replicate infinitely, creating a disorienting yet hypnotic environment. Although compact in physical size, these spaces offer a vast perceptual experience, making the viewer feel as though they are floating in a limitless void or galaxy. What makes Kusama's installations particularly significant in the context of XR is how they redefine the role of the viewer. The individual becomes both participant and subject, their presence activates the space, and their reflection becomes part of the artwork. This mirrors many XR environments, where the user's body and movement are integral to the experience itself. Additionally, the Infinity Rooms are designed for short, time-limited interactions, often due to high demand and limited space, yet even these brief encounters leave a lasting emotional and sensory impact. This speaks to the power of immersive environments to affect mood, memory, and perception, even in short bursts, something XR artists and designers continually strive to harness. Kusama's work is not digital, but it is undeniably immersive. It stands as a powerful analog precursor to XR, demonstrating that through strategic manipulation of space, reflection, and repetition, artists can radically alter human experience, without a headset. In 2003, artist Olafur Eliasson transformed Tate Modern's Turbine Hall into an unforgettable immersive installation titled The Weather Project. A massive semicircular disc of bright monofrequency lamps, reflected in a mirrored ceiling, created the illusion of a glowing, artificial sun. The hall was filled with mist and bathed in golden light, altering not only perception but also mood and atmosphere. Visitors didn't simply view the artwork, they entered it. Many lay on the floor, interacting with their reflections overhead, becoming active participants in the experience. The work invited collective presence, encouraging introspection, play, and connection among strangers in a shared space. Eliasson's installation demonstrates how art can immerse audiences without the use of screens or headsets. It manipulated light, scale, reflection, and space to affect perception and emotional response, core strategies also found in XR design. Crucially, the Weather Project emphasized the viewer as part of the artwork, a principle mirrored in today's XR experiences, where user interaction shapes the environment. It reminds us that immersive art doesn't require technology to be transformative, it requires intentional design that reshapes how we see, feel, and relate to space and each other. Since 2018, TeamLab, a Tokyo-based interdisciplinary art collective, has pushed the boundaries of immersive art through interactive digital environments that blend art, science, technology, and nature. Their exhibitions, such as TeamLab Borderless and TeamLab Planets, use projection mapping, motion sensors, responsive audio, and real-time rendering to create evolving, interactive worlds. Visitors don't just observe the art, they move through it. Flowers bloom at their feet, light particles scatter in response to touch, and waterfalls split around their bodies. Every action influences the environment, making each visit a unique, co-created experience. The digital artworks are not fixed, they continuously respond to human presence and behavior, echoing the core values of XR design: immersion, interactivity, and real-time feedback. What sets TeamLab apart is how they remove the boundaries between the artwork, the viewer, and the space. Walls dissolve, and time slows as digital environments flow seamlessly across rooms and between visitors. In doing so, TeamLab turns the gallery into an ecosystem of digital phenomena, where the visitor becomes both explorer and participant. Their work exemplifies the transformational potential of XR in the creative disciplines, a marriage of poetic aesthetics and advanced computation. TeamLab's exhibitions don't simply use XR tools, they redefine how art, technology, and the body intersect in the 21st century. Throughout history, humans have sought to create immersive experiences that go beyond flat images or static objects. From the symbolic cave paintings of prehistoric South Africa to the illusionistic murals of Pompeii, and from 19th-century dioramas to the experiential environments of Kusama and Ilyasin, artists have always pushed the boundaries of perception, space, and storytelling. With the rise of digital technologies, XR tools have amplified this impulse, enabling artists and designers to construct environments that respond to the viewer, evolve in real time, and engage multiple senses. Whether through the interactive landscapes of TeamLab or the emotional worlds of Van Gogh's immersive exhibitions, today's creative disciplines are embracing XR as a natural evolution of humanity's immersive instincts. This chapter has shown that XR is not just a technological novelty, it is part of a long lineage of creative expression that seeks to dissolve the boundary between the artwork and the audience. The tools may be new, but the desire is ancient, to step inside a story, a world, a feeling. As we move into the next chapter, exploring the possibilities of AR/VR/XR in creative disciplines, we'll shift from history to application. We'll explore how XR is transforming fine art, photography, fashion, and graphic design today, and how these disciplines are using immersive technology not just to represent the world, but to reshape it. As we conclude this chapter, we need to quickly consolidate what we learned. Please complete the quiz to assess how much you understood in this section.